Good afternoon. Welcome to News Channel 5 at noon. I'm Eric Lasser. Now to those 911 calls pleading for help for a Deerfield Beach teen who was doused with alcohol and set on fire by a group of his schoolmates. The Broward County Sheriff's Office has just released those calls, and we want to warn you, part of it is graphic and difficult to listen to. Police have arrested a suspect wanted for a robbery near the Caldwell Theater in Boca Raton. One of Palm Beach's most prominent families is devastated this noon. Two beloved family pets die after being left in a hot car for hours over the weekend. Some former patients at Broward Medical Center have tested positive for an infectious disease. They were all treated by a nurse who reused IV equipment during chemical stress tests. A criminal investigation is underway. Local health departments now have both types of the swine flu vaccine, the mist and the shots. The Palm Beach County Health Department will begin scheduling appointments for inoculations Monday. Still ahead, a miracle caught on tape. A baby survives being hit by a train. The incredible video next. Now, you say at first you were skeptical about this. You were on the radio last night when this started to come across, and your first reaction was, I'm not so sure here.
Well, when you love the job as much as Robert and I have, it's hard to walk away.
Fists were flying at a city council meeting in St. Petersburg. The city voted to give a portion of a sidewalk to a downtown development, but as you can see, not everyone was too happy with that decision. Coming up on News Channel 5 beginning at 5, they are everywhere and lots of people like them. We're talking about dollar stores. They've become a real go-to favorite in this tight economy, and in some cases they can offer great values. But we've got a list of 5 dollar store duds, items you may want to avoid so you don't waste your money. Thanks, Keenan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again at 5. Welcome back, 1220. We've been receiving your emails and health questions. Many of them, of course, have to do with the swine flu. Joining us now to answer some of those questions, News Channel 5 health expert Dr. David Soria, who is also, by the way, the head of emergency medicine at Wellington Regional Medical Center. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get right to it. We got a couple of questions. The first one coming in from Katie in Port St. Lucie. She says, I'm an otherwise healthy 26-year-old. However, like everyone, I have a flaw. I smoke. Are smokers at higher risk of complications due to the swine flu?
There are very few disease states that aren't worsened by smoking.
If you needed another reason to stop smoking,
no question.
You've got one. All right, here's another swine flu related question. This one's from Kathy in Port St. Lucie. She asks, what's recommended for people over 64? I haven't heard anything mentioned on whether to have the mist or the injection. What should I do? Dr. Soria, thank you. If you have a question for Dr. Soria, you can send it in by going to our web channel, WPTV.com, clicking on the health link. Scroll down, and on the right-hand side, you'll see a form to write down your question. We'll try to get to it. Thank you again, Dr. Soria, for coming in, and we'll see you next week. We will see you after a short break.
I love what I do.
For almost 50 years, Danny Catafumo has been saving people's souls. No, he's not a priest. He's a cobbler, a shoe repairman, whose profession, once thought to be a dying art form, has seen a sudden resurgence in this tight economy.
Oh yeah, I've seen it come up from nothing, getting busier and busier, you know. And now with the way things are going, more and more people are repairing their shoes.
Catafumo says cobbling is in his blood, a family business for close to 100 years. His brother still works the store their father first opened in Brooklyn. His daughter, Juliana, helps mind this store.
I've only been helping my dad about a year and a half, and it's crazy busy all the time.
Over the years, the cobbling Catafumos have seen business ebb and flow. In good times, the well-heeled purchasing new heels. In tougher times, repairing and reshining.
Thank you.
Fran Chase from Palm Beach Garden says in this economy, her husband would have blown a gasket if she'd replaced her $500 pair of Kate Spades. A $32 repair job doing just fine.
And I'll still get good mileage out of these shoes. And, I mean, why pick a fight with your spouse?
And it's not just shoes. Belts, purses, wallets, all sorts of leather goods make their way through Catafumo's skillful hands. Hands bent and weathered by years of hard work.
This is what I work with. This is what I get satisfaction of, doing a shoe and making it look right.
For Catafumo, the estimated 30% jump in business is welcome, but it wouldn't matter, he says. He's not in it for the money. Each day he comes to work at 4:30 in the morning, dedicated to his craft, heart and soul.
That's where I get my satisfaction. That's why I love my job.
Some of the equipment in Danny's shoe repair looks like it belongs in the Smithsonian. Big metal machines built in the 30s and 40s. The number of cobbler businesses in the country is estimated to be somewhere around 7,000 now. At their peak, there were 120,000. That was during another economic downturn known as the Great Depression. Reporting live, Eric Lasser, WPTV News Channel 5. 'Twas the week before Christmas, and at Testa's, Palm Beach, someone had stolen an item thought well out of reach. One of 4 holiday men made of thick metal piping, a rooftop display thought hardly worth swiping.
It's out there somewhere, and we'd like to have him back.
For 6 decades they stood, all 4 of them made from a float once appearing in the Orange Bowl parade. But at 1 a.m. Thursday, in the darkness of night, a prankster made off with the second man from the right.
It's very sad that anybody would do something like that during the holiday season.
Christmas spirit and everything else, and somebody just wants to rip it off for whatever purpose.
It looks odd up there with just 3. We've always had 4.
Of course, stealing a 6'5" candy cane may sound a bit dumb. Sticking out, one would think, like a stripy sore thumb. But solving this caper has been less than a cinch. Police not finding the elusive candy cane Grinch. They've cruised local neighborhoods hoping to spot the display. They've even scoured the internet, searching eBay.
He's not there.
Testers you'd think might make vengeance their mission, but that wouldn't fit in with their holiday tradition. They're not aiming to prosecute. It's not part of their plan, asking just for the return of their candy cane man. On Palm Beach, Eric Lasser, WPTV News Channel 5.